Hello, Mastertron Tamer here. We're ready to move on with our next in this series of working with the Snapmaker. This time around, we're going to create our first design and then we're going to print it. So in creating a design, it's good to have a useful reason for why we're creating it. So I recorded this bit earlier so that you could kind of see the problem of why I'm creating this little suitcase prop. So let me show you, this is what we're going to do for our first project. So I've got a Briggs & Riley bag here. This bag has literally been around the world with me. Probably been on, I don't know, nearly 100 trips. And as you can see, they hold up. They're great bags, but this isn't a commercial for Briggs & Riley. The project I was thinking of that we could make would be to help hold this up. So let me kind of try and explain the problem. So these bags have a wonderful feature. They not only expand, but they allow you to compress them. Let me show you how that works. All right, I'm just putting stuff in here just for the idea. And then you pull this little release in here and you can bring it up. And then if you're stuffing it with soft things, my pillow here is going to represent some clothes. You can go ahead and zip it. And then when you've got to get it to carry-on size, you just do this. And you can walk through and get it on the plane. So that's fantastic. But there is one little issue with their design that we're going to fix with our project. So let me go ahead and take this out for a minute. The problem happens when you're traveling like I do a lot, and you're putting it out and you're traveling like this with it fully extended. Now in the top half of this is where you put your most important clothes that you want to keep from getting too wrinkled. They go in here. And I usually have this section really full. So I'm going to simulate that so we can see what I want to show you. I'm going to put something heavy in there. Did you hear that click? And that one? As soon as you load this section up, it starts collapsing ahead of time. Boy, come on, there it goes. Now we'll go ahead and overstuff it using our pillows, our demonstration. But as you lift it up, it starts to collapse because of the weight of what you have in here. And like I said, mine is typically loaded up. So for our project, what we're going to do is figure a way to stop that from happening. So let me pull this out so I can show you. So what I'm thinking as I pull these up, if we made a little prop that fits right in here, on both of these, we could stop it from collapsing. Now, I've already gone ahead and taken some very careful measurements. This gap right here, and maybe this would be best if I tilted this for the overhead camera like that. This gap right here, I measured that when it's fully extended. It's about 53.5 millimeters. It's about 20 millimeters wide, and the slot down here is about 5 millimeters. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go jump into some software and let's design something that we could put in there to keep that up. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the design. All right, so I'm going to be using Tinkercad because it's a tool that's available to everybody for free, and I thought that that would be the best one to go with. So let's go ahead and get going. All right, so we've got it open here. I'm going to be making most of what we're going to do for this little design out of what is readily available, and I'm going to be using the square a lot. So let me drop that right where I want it. So this isn't actually going to end up being part of our design. This is instead going to be part of how we align our design. So let me send that away. We don't need that. And for height, I want the total height of this to be 11 millimeters. And I'm going to leave it at 20 by 20 because I'm going to use that to center my design. All right. So to start with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring over another one of these squares. It's not quite as important where I'm going to drop this one. Now the gap in that little suitcase expander, I've measured that, and it's about 20 millimeters. So we're going to make this just shy of 20 millimeters. So we'll make it 19.6, and the same here. And then, because I want it to fit in a little gap there, I'm going to make this 5 tall. And that's going to be our starting point. Now, what we're going to do to this is we're going to go ahead and round the edges, which is one of the settings available for a box. And we're going to set this to 4. Okay. And then I'm going to set up the steps so it's a little bit smoother. And that's going to be our starting point. All right, so the next thing we want to do is get this aligned. If we zoom in here a little bit, and let me send this away, we'll see that this is no longer perfectly squared left to right here. And we want it to be. Oh, and my square isn't either. So let me move it over 1. I've just got it set down here for 1 millimeter increments, so it should click right to where we want it. And in fact, I'm going to move this one over here too. Well, you know what? That messed some stuff up. So I'm not sure I want to do that anymore. All right. Let's see if that'll do that again. Yeah, that's a little bit better for what I was after. So I want this to align with this square right here. Let me take a look here where this edge is. It looks like it's just about where we want it, but I'm going to go ahead and move this square over here for just a second and over 1 because I want to check the alignment of this one. And I'll do that by selecting both of them and picking alignment. And when I do that, I see if I click on the one I want to align to, it is not perfectly aligned to the front. And I can click right here, and boom, it is. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and let me undo that again because I can do that much easier just by cursoring. So let me go put this 20 where it belongs. And just kind of double check that it's where I think it should be. All right, it is. Now we can use it to align it the way I'm thinking in three-dimensional space. So let me click here, align. We want to align to our test block. And I'm going to say here, I would like it centered, and I want it centered here as well. And I already know that it's right on this line because we did that earlier. All right, let's go ahead and do the next part of this. First of all, we want just this, and I'm going to duplicate it and then move it. And I'm going to keep doing that. Now notice this cool feature in Tinkercad. It remembers what I did last time and then does it again. All I have to say is duplicate. So that's kind of cool. So for measuring that gap, I need that to be 53.5 millimeters. So I'm going to want to go just over that by about 10. So if we look here, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. This is 55. And I mean, this is 50. And then here would be 55. So it looks like I need to do this one more time. Now, I'm looking at this thinking I may have put too much space in these. So I'm going to move that one back. I'm going to move that one back one. I'm going to move that one, whoops, see, that one should move back 2. And then I'm going to move this one back 3. I just want to make sure we have enough overlap. All right. So now let's duplicate this one. And it's not quite sure what I want to do with it now. So it didn't do it automatically. So I want this to go out to about 65. So again, 10, 20, 40, 50, 60. And we're pretty close to 65. It took me a little bit over. I think right there is going to be good. You know, it won't hurt it if it goes over for this application. So there we go. You know, I've changed my mind yet again. All right. So now we've got the basic part of the thing that we're going to space, and now we're going to duplicate it. To make this work a little bit easier, if we group all of this together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make that one object, and then I'm going to change its color so I can keep track of it. Oh, that's a nice color. Let's make it that. So there we go. All right. Now let's go ahead and duplicate that. And what we're going to do is raise that up. And again, we're going to use this alignment block over here. So we will align to it. Oh, let me do that again. All right. align it to this one, to the top. Oh, I took the wrong one. So let's undo that. This is the one that we want to align. To the top. All right. And then I'm going to duplicate that one because there could be a little bit of a gap. I'm going to duplicate it and lower it to actually, yeah, to fill any possible gap. And then I want to group it. That one and this one. What I think I need to do to keep track of all these is this one on the middle here. I'm going to change its color. I'll make that one yellow. And that way, when I select that one, that one, I think I have the right two. We'll know here in just a minute. I'm going to group them. And after I group them, I'm going to change their color to keep track of them. All right. Yeah, I grouped the right ones. All right. So now we'll take the middle one and we'll duplicate it and move the duplicate down. And I'm going to do this one a little different because it's going to be easier to keep track of them. So now I'm going to duplicate that one. Just like that. Then I'm going to take these two and group them. And change their color so we can keep track of them. That's a nice, cool color. All right, so now they're a group. We'll take that one and our alignment block over here. Align to it. All right, now everything is aligned the way we want it. And it'll be the exact height of this block, which when we started everything, we set to 11. And they should all be lined up on it and centered and ready to go. So we have one other thing to put at the top. We want to make a couple of little stays which are going to keep this in place. They need to be a lot smaller than that. And half. Then we need to adjust the length, and I think it'll be more evident what I'm doing with this once I've got it done. I want that to be 12. And then we need to rotate it 90 degrees. So we'll keep our cursor over here so we get exactly 90. And we'll move it over to where we want it. So we want it centered. So we can use our alignment block again for that. Okay. Then let's move it so that we are right on it. I think we are. And then we want to move it up to, you know what, I want to make sure that I get that right at the right place. And there's a super simple way to do that. And that's to use the alignment block yet again. So I think I'm going to do that. Except this time, I'm going to move it right here, which is where I aligned the other one. And then we'll select this one. Align. And let's see what we've already got. It's already centered, which we would want. And it looks like it is right on there. Let's see. No, it is not. All right, so here's how we're going to fix that. We're going to change this to 0.5. We will move this 0.5. Then we will select this, align, say we want to align on here, and boom, that should put it right where we want it because it's exactly 0.5 millimeter high. All right, let me go ahead then and move the alignment block back out of the way. And we should be ready to put this one in place. This has been the really only slightly difficult part of this whole process. I'm going to move the alignment block a little bit more. All right. So we want to raise this up. Oh wait, let me change this to whole millimeters again. I want to raise that up to. Then we will duplicate it. And put this one up at 8 from the floor. Good. That should give us a gap of 5 millimeters for that to snap into place. All right, we are just about done with this design. Next thing we're going to do, I want to see one quick thing as I move this block. I think I left it on the 0.5 millimeter. Yeah, and that's actually going to be useful. So when I move it, it's going to the next half. Okay, that's what I want. Because my gap, I need that to be 53.5 millimeters. So let's move our block down. So again, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and we want that to be 53.5 is what I want. So if I go down here to 50, okay, that's 51.5, 52.5, 53.5. That should be exactly, but let me double check. 1, 2, 3.5. Yep, that's right where we want it, 53.5. Always good to double check our count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 53.5. Now watch what we're going to do here. This is the kind of cool bit of this trick. All right, so why did I do that? Well, here, I'll show you why. First, I'm going to turn it into negative space. And then I'm going to group it with the top one and with this bottom one and group. And if I got the right ones, it's kind of magical. Now we've got exactly what I wanted. We have the spacer here, which is 53.5 millimeters. We've got the tongue that's going to stick down, which is exactly 5 millimeters. That will work perfect. And it's a little bit over 10 millimeters. Like I said, that wasn't a critical measurement. And we've got the two little stays here. So we are done with this. So I'm going to do a select all and export that. And that should end up over in my download folder. I'm just double checking that right now to make sure I have it. Yep, it's there. And we are ready to go. One point I was also going to make, I forgot to say, use a good name, something that you know what it later on that you'll be able to identify what you made. All right. Now we're going to move on to the next thing, which is to bring it here. I'm going to cheat and do this the easy way. I'm just going to drag it over. It should let me do that. I could have done a file and open, but there's our model. If we zoom in, we see how it's laying, and if I was going to build it like this, I would need a support right here under this tongue area, and that's not great. But one of the things I've already learned about this great tool that we have with Snapmaker is if you go into rotate, there's an auto rotate, and it looks like it picks exactly the way I would have rotated it. Now that it's up on the edge, I'm pretty sure that that is going to print correctly. I did not want to move it. I bet you there's an undo. There we go. That's exactly what I would, the position I like. So that's all good to go. Now, another really nice thing about working with a product like the Snapmaker is you've got the ability to have a bunch of presets. and it's already preset here for the left extruder. And I'm just going to pick normal print. I could do these precise and strong, and what these do is they have a series of presets in there, like what's the fill and what's the movement. But you know, it's a lot easier when you're first starting out just to say, hey, give me a normal print. I can do that. That's straightforward. All right, I'll say generate G-code, and then export. I'm going to say load it to workspace. To get this to go there, I need to connect. I don't need this preview. I don't know if that's causing trouble or not. What I need to do is connect. There we go. It's connecting to the machine. It says screen authorization is needed. Yeah, I don't quite understand that because I've done that and I run over to the screen to authorize it, but it just goes ahead and works. So anyways, we're ready to print at this point. Now I haven't pre-warmed anything, so this will take a while, so we'll use some editing magic to get that quicker for you. But let's go ahead and go through the next things. It says it's connected. Yep. I say start. Oh, but I didn't send the file. All right, let me do that again. I missed a step. So connect. Okay, I missed this step right here. Send to device. All right, now that we've done that, we can disconnect, start. There's our model, and all we have to do is say print. So I'll speed this part up in editing because it's going to take a while to warm it up. And I think I'll speed up the print part too because that will take a while as well. But we'll go ahead and let it print, and then we'll test it out and see if it's going to do what we want it to do. After that one was printed, I went ahead and printed another one. Didn't bother filming that one, figuring watching it in high speed once was good enough. And so I'm now ready to test fit these in to see if this is going to solve our problem. Got them right here in my pocket so I wouldn't lose them. So this is our design. We made it a little less than 20 millimeters this way. It's 11 tall. And this part, this thickness is 5. And remember we put those little notches here with those kind of half moon shapes. Lumps really, so that this should snap and hold in. So I'll go ahead. Here, let me tilt this. Oh, that was even easier than I thought it would be. It snapped right in there. It's a little hard to maneuver the bag as I still have something heavy in here from when I was showing it to you before. But that's good. That makes a better test. Now, let me go ahead and fit in the other one. Here, let me expand it all the way first. Well, it's auto-collapsing because I don't have this in there yet. I think if I just pull up on here, do that, yeah, in she goes. And I can go ahead, do it, and it's fixed. Maybe I'll do another 100 trips with this bag. Someday I'll replace it. But now we've got a good fix. So this is my favorite kind of 3D printing project. If you're ever bored and don't know what to make, think about something that would make your life a little bit better. Something that would fix something. And design it. And go from there. I think they'll be pretty easy to remove, but I want to try that step. I think I should be able to just push them from the back. Yep. And yeah, so we're good. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, that you found it useful. Please don't forget to subscribe. I know a lot of you already are, but there's a few holdouts. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to like. Love comments. They make my day. If you found anything useful what I've done, I really appreciate the comments, the subscriptions, the thumbs up, all of that is fantastic. And I think that's great. I also wanted to take a minute to again thank our friends at Snapmaker who provided the hardware so we could do this series, and we're just getting going. I'm envisioning we'll have a dozen or more of these. I'll be interweaving some other videos in there, but we'll still keep working on these ones because they're just too much fun to keep doing. So if you want to thank the nice people at Snapmaker, please use the link in the description. They'll know it came from this site, and visit. If you want to buy, but it's totally up to you. Every time I go there, they're running some kind of special. So anyways, I think that'll do it for this time. Thanks for everything, and I'll see you in our next video.